he's going to be the next generation, the next evolution of Southern chefs that really help us.
And I'm Rob McDaniel, Executive Chef at Springhouse, and we're going to do a little cooking demo. Today on the menu we have two of Chef Irby's recipes. We have the chicken sandwich, and then also on the dessert menu we have the molten chocolate cake.
Well, it's such an honor to be here with Chris and Chef Rob. Thank you for having me here at Springhouse. And if you may or may not know by now, but I grew up coming to Lake Martin, and so it's very special for me to be here and cook today with these great chefs at Springhouse. As Bikini chef, I wasn't always cooking bikini, as you would know, growing up in the South. So I had written my original cookbook, Cooking with Susan, which is Southern family recipes. And then over time in teaching cooking classes, people would ask me what I did to stay in shape and what I ate. And then my students in my cooking classes ended up calling me and nicknaming me the Bikini Chef. So that's how that all got started. And then just for fun, I had this chef coat made because people always ask me if I cook in my bikini. So, but really the food is supposed to be so you look hot in your bikini. And later, these guys are going to take out their Speedos, right?
He's first.
So we're just going to do a couple of recipes from the book today. They're on the menu. It's the pesto chicken sandwich. And part of being bikini is, and in this book that I just did, Substitute Yourself Skinny, was I took the fattening recipes that we love and I made them delicious, but lower in fat, lower in calories, but still full of flavor. I wanted to start by grilling some chicken breast. Grilling, of course, is a healthy way to enjoy chicken, and I always use boneless, skinless chicken breast whenever possible. And we're lucky to have this beautiful grill here. And then also in the recipe, we use roasted red bell peppers. Now, if you don't feel like roasting your own, you can buy them already in the jar. You use those ever, you always roast yours.
Always roast our own. But it's always good to have access to things if you don't have time for that. So I think it's a practical solution for folks who are on the go, very busy, may not have the time to fire up a Barbie and roast their own peppers. So I don't oppose it, but we choose to do it.
Because, Chef, you're all about farm to table.
That's correct. Rob and I are committed here and at our restaurant in Birmingham to sourcing local ingredients and reflecting seasonal food that's healthy and that has a smaller carbon footprint and has lost less of its nutritional value through time.
And I love using fresh herbs because not only do they have great flavor, but they're full of antioxidants and fiber. They're high in fiber, so they help process foods that you do eat through your system. We did throw on red bell pepper back here, so just took one of those, and they just throw it right on the grill. And you can do this at home. Now, if they don't have a grill, I suggest they do it under the broiler. Have you ever tried that?
Sure, it works great. And one of the tips about that is you may think it's when you're doing it under your broiler at home or on your grill, it gets really, really dark and black, and you're thinking, oh my God, I burnt it up. But then you just straighten your finger across it, and you notice the flesh of the pepper underneath is beautiful, bright red and tender. So don't be afraid of the char. It's not as bad as you might think.
You actually want it to be charred because in the areas where it's not charred, it's not going to peel off like that. And then be sure that you don't rinse it off, right?
Don't rinse it off because you're rinsing off all of the sweet flavor of the pepper. You just want to peel it off very carefully with your hands, preferably. I don't even like to use a towel.
No, I use my hands, and then I put the peppers to the side and wash my hands, of course. But it doesn't really matter because then I even take the seeds out, you know, with my hands. And so you got to get a little bit messy. Don't be afraid.
You can take the peppers too while they're still hot, put them in a bowl, put plastic wrap over, and it's going to steam it, and the skin's going to come off even easier after that.
The traditional pesto is full of oil and cheese, has a lot of fat in it, right? It's good, but it's got, and even olive oil, we all cook with lots of olive oil, and it's good fat. flavor from the grill.
And it also cooks it until it's tender. Okay, so you've taken the skin off, which is less appealing. You've done it in a method that is very healthy without the addition of any fat. And then you've created a pepper that's cooked, so it's not a raw pepper, it's cooked. So it kind of takes it from eating that raw, crunchy pepper to this really yummy, rich, tender pepper that has a very different flavor profile than a raw pepper.
My legs are burning.
Feels good, doesn't it?
It does. My legs are charring as we speak. All right.
It's a good place to be.
Yes, it is. Hey, at least I have ventilation in my bed. All right, so now for the molten chocolate cake. Really, for this recipe, I did not substitute anything technically. I cut back on the amount of whole eggs and egg yolks. I cut back on the amount of sugar. I don't know about you, but especially in the South, a lot of dessert recipes just overdo it on sugar. You really don't need as much sugar as we think we do. So I cut back on the sugar and also the whipping cream. So I just put in a couple of tablespoons of whipping cream to give it a nice creaminess, but you don't need a lot of it. So he's whipping together the eggs that we are using. And I put just a hint of flour in it, just to kind of act as a little bit of a binding agent. But it's a molten chocolate cake. So I did increase the amount of chocolate that just right. And part of the bikini lifestyle is enjoying portion control. So you don't want to eat 4 of these. But actually, honestly, they're so rich in flavor that you really wouldn't want to eat 4 of these. Now, someone mentioned yesterday that they like to top theirs with a couple of scoops of coffee ice cream.
Sounds good.
And you can do that, but I'd recommend maybe 1 scoop or a half a scoop, or if you're going to do that, then share your dessert. What we did was we melted the chocolate with the butter over what we call a double boiler. And the double boiler is essentially water underneath the bowl, and because chocolate doesn't like direct heat, it will seize up and won't do much of anything if it gets too hot on a direct fire. So by steaming it, it gets a really nice texture and very creamy. We put a little bit of powdered sugar in there, not a lot. And then when he poured the chocolate in, he sort of tempered it in. You don't want to just dump all the eggs and chocolate together immediately, and you want to keep whisking while you do it. Otherwise, what might happen? Scrambled eggs. And we might love scrambled eggs, but we really don't want them in our molten cake. Scrambled chocolate. No, not on the end. In the book, I serve them with raspberries. For again, I like that bright red color, and plus I love raspberries. You know, the berries actually kind of burst in your mouth, and they have great flavor. Good local blueberries is what he said.
Mr. Neighbors.
Well, I love to go blueberry picking, so how many of you been blueberry picking? Yeah. Yum! At that.
There it is.
So it's nice and molten. You can see the chocolate lava coming out. And will they get to taste any of these? It's on the menu today. Yeah. Yeah.
Good job, Chef.
Thank
Good on.
you.